Alright, so I've actually referred to fight rigging at various points as playable Hadana's Climb, and this deck happens to have both. Looking at the main deck here, one question I'm going to be looking to want to ask myself is the blue splash worthwhile? We've only got 9 blue sources here in the mana base. This is the only main deck card with a couple of Hydroid Crisis in the sideboard here. I'm also a little skeptical on Crisis in general, just because other than red-black, most of the matchups you want this kind of effect in are decks that tend to play Narset, which makes this a little bit worse. We also have Ceratops as an anti-control sideboard card as well, though. This deck does not notably have any cheap big creatures to trigger fight rigging quickly, instead leaning into things like Hardened Scales and Winding Constrictor to make the wind up on extra counters happen faster. Another kind of sweet interaction this deck has is Incubation Druid here. Doesn't care what type of 1/1 counter it has on it, so if you fight rigging or Hadana's Climb onto Incubation Druid, it can start tapping for 3 mana, even though we didn't technically adapt it, which can ramp us up into things like Monstrous Raider. Another thing that's worth noting here is we've got some Valkies to cast off of fight rigging, but because we're splashing blue for Hadana's Climb, we don't actually have any red mana in the mana base, so we can't cast the Cosmic Imposter side of this if we actually draw it, which also seems a little suspect. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches with this and see how it goes. My gut says we should probably be red-black splashing some... probably be green-black splashing some red for Valky, but we'll see if we think that after the case. Can't Incubation Druid cast? No, Incubation Druid only makes mana that is colors lands you produce could make. I queued in best of 1, did I? Unranked best of 1. We have unsuccessfully playbladed, chat. Alright, take 2. The deck being set as best of 1 is irrelevant, chat. I also queued for historic best of 1, apparently. I definitely don't want to play a Triumph in my Llanowar Elves deck. That explicitly sounds very bad. I mean, if you're reasonable at Magic, and so as someone who played, like, Growth Chamber Guardian is notably very good against decks that tend to play Doomblade. I think we're taking their Galta. There's 4 or more counters? 3 or more. Okay. Climb with Scales is a lot of power every turn. They get to attack with this, and if they block, the Wing Temple lets me eat their thing. And if they didn't block, we would play Vivien and and shoot their thing. All right, I mean, Wing Temple looks real good here, Chip. Being on the play, also quite strong. We have actual 0 cards to sideboard here, huh? Could maybe see this, but I don't think so. We just run it back. Going on Dysphoria, good morning. Fair warning, I will be off again tomorrow. This is your official heads up. I will be pseudo live again this weekend though. I will be returning as part of the broadcast team for the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. Just chill here, because Vorinclex actually means they can't put counters on things. Oh, but I guess this already has 7 power. So they will get to rig a fight this turn if they have it. Great Henge is scary too. And fight rigging, super scary. Alright, scale of 1 to dead, where am I at here? Just a land deal. Just gonna chill here. Let them discard the last card from their hand. And none of these fights have been rigged in a particularly impressive manner, Chip. Are we the bigger fish? I don't know. Vorinclex definitely lets us kind of shut down what they have going on, right? Like our fight rigging's putting 3 counters per turn, and then theirs is getting none. All right, I think they're locked out. I'll take it. They think they're pushed out. We're more annoying. I mean, we have a prison card on our side, right? Is it 4? Is it double twice? Scripters should get replaced and then doubled. Noted for the future. Orioning shall continue until morale improves. There's a good chance there's 3 readers in our hand right now for the opponent champ. Trying to figure out what's going on. They have like another cheap removal spell. They probably just like take a druid, kill a druid, but they can also just like get rid of the Hydanos Climb. Yes, playing out the land that they could Thoughtseize on 1, definitely a big value play. Does Arena let you choose how to apply replacement effects? It does. Theoretically cast the backside if we flip a Hadana's Climb, but getting a little info here and then getting Climb building up on something has a lot of value. I'm gonna decline attacking into their Wandering Emperor here.
Now you've done it. Hat's coming off. Guards! To me! Keep watch for intruders.
Off for this for their 2, I think.
We've got the edge in this fight.
This game's over, right? They're not gonna win for a while, but there's no way we're winning. I think Incubation Druid's probably too cute here. I think I'd rather have Llanowar Elves. My Climb, because they can kill a lot of my stuff. Yeah, am I running Rabbit Caffeine after this match? I just feel like I am dragging this morning. Blame being out in the sun all day yesterday. Yeah, this is fine, right? So it's technically a 2 and a 3. It's not you, it's the Pokemon Unite and Arena Qs. Yeah, I'm so a little sad we didn't get to play Pokemon Unite this morning. 10 minutes in Q dead game. Alright, chat, you don't activate Growth Chamber Guardian when they have mana up. You just shock it in and you pass. And if they do nothing, we also do nothing, and we just keep happily attacking them with our Grizzly Crab. Now, I will activate in response to this before they can deploy a land. If I played with Venom at all, so Venom kind of slots into the Destroy archetype in Snap, and the Nova Destroy archetype is kind of the busted push thing in the game right now, so I've kind of not been playing it for that reason.
Close your eyes, breathe, and listen to the sounds of the wild.
6/6.
My,
I have
how
another
you've
Growth
grown.
Chamber Guardian. That's one of my favorite cards for a long time. This good clean value live in. The Snap devs posted they have nerfs coming for the Nova card, but it's not going to be for another week and a half still.
I need to hone my skills.
Ah, untapped land was lethal there, Chip. I'll play 2 creatures out here, just in case they have a piece of spot removal. Because if they sweep us, Ceratops just like cleans them up next turn. What's going on, Zer? Thank you for the 37 months. Welcome back. I feel like there's just like you have to play Ceratops in this format. If you have green mana. Just so many Gandalfs. So many Gandalfs, so little time. Oh. I guess. What's going on, Cajun Guy? Thanks for the almost 4 years. Squadron Crab for life. I agree. Probably farted more crabs than most people in chat combined. Yeah, hand sucks keep definitely is the energy behind this one. The backside of Climb makes mana of any color. I can technically cast him. Oh. Maybe I'm supposed to go Elf this turn to line up Vorinclex for the following turn. They're debating on if they want to veto this or cast Emperor this turn. Vivien. I think I'm gonna go ahead and attack with Valky to encourage them to down-tick their Emperor here. I guess there could have been merit to putting the counters on the Winding Constrictors. That way it doesn't die to Othakaya. But if they tap out for Othakaya here, it means I get to stick Vorinclex next turn, most likely. Which then turns into a Vivien as well. Yes, Valky getting priority for 0 mana is one of those, like, this is a technically correct thing, but also it sucks. Please stop, Arena.
My heart beats in unison with the wild.
Do I want to grab a friend, or do I want to put counters on things? I think I want to just put counters on things.
My.
It's like, if they Void Rend my Vivien, then they're not interacting with my 14 power worth of other Dorkos. Memory Deluge. Things that bode well for our hero. So long, Gandalf. Enjoy your box. Alright, I apologize. I'm gonna run to my kitchen upstairs and grab a drink real quick. I'll be back in just a second. Beer. Does it have fetches? No, Pioneer doesn't have fetches in it. Pioneer, if it's been since Pioneer was added that you started following Magic, Pioneer is a new non-rotating format in Paper and Magic Online and eventually Arena that the fetches were banned from the start. It starts with RTR's the first set in Pioneer, right? So we don't have RTR on this platform, obviously, but just fetches will never be legal, thank goodness. Yeah, the fetch lands are explicitly banned in Pioneer, so they'll never be on Explorer. They said they wanted a format without them. Peak Magic Arena. I assume in a distant future, Historic will have fetch lands because they'll add fetches to, it's like an Omnath deck over here. They'll need to add fetches to this platform so they can add Modern to it eventually. Is it decaying? Arena's definitely on a downward inclination. I would wager the overall peak of Magic Arena will be the 2018, 2019 release era. They've corrected the design ship a little bit with regards to fire and how it plays out, but definitely still some issues around the edges. They added some digital only formats to Magic Arena and then left them to rot immediately because that's what Wizards of the Coast does, so you know. I think I want Climb. You think COVID helped people playing it? What do you mean? Magic Arena actually had Magic Arena actually had Magic Arena's peak was before COVID. Is the words that I am fumbling to get out of my mouth this morning as I fail to talk. It's not their fault. People on Twitter were very mean to them. That's fair. No, I don't actually think that's true, Tistamet. I think COVID overall hurt Arena. I think COVID caused a lot of people to realize they don't really like Magic super strongly as a game. They largely just enjoy it as a social conduit. I think it pushed a lot of people out. Like Twitch, to give you a metrics-driven stick of information, Twitch as a whole saw an incredible amount of growth in terms of watch time during COVID, while the Magic category stayed stagnant. Like, Twitch as a platform was up like 70%, and I believe Magic stayed the same or shrunk a little bit. So now I'm gonna go look. Or the Sully Gnome stats. I don't like to talk out of my butt. I'd rather just look at the metrics. Yeah, the Magic category in 2020 shrunk 15% on Twitch compared to 2019. And in 2021, the Magic category on Twitch shrunk another 10% compared to 2020. So 2019 will definitely be the peak of Magic as far as Twitch is concerned. The old Cast Dugan concede. My Monstrous Raider does not care for your dragon. And again, just for comparison's sake, Twitch gained almost 100% during that time. So it's not like Twitch did poorly during the pandemic, because Twitch as a whole was way up. While the rest of Twitch was way up, the Magic category explicitly was down. how we want to sideboard here. Do you want to grind with Hydroid Crisis? This is probably the Hydroid Crisis matchup, right? And maybe we like, we pull out the Llanowar Elves just to have a little bit higher average card quality, I think. And for what it's worth, too, just for clarity's sake, I don't think Magic's going anywhere. Like, Magic survived 30 years, and games ebb and flow. People were just asking, you know, how did Magic do during the pandemic and stuff like that. I mean, Pokemon Unite isn't really a bastion of, like, super strong Twitch metrics either. It's a newer game, even if it comes from a larger IP. I'm just not playing Standard until rotation, Cody. The current Standard format is not particularly good. You want a kind of hot Magic take, Mushroom? I think even if the MPL had been executed perfectly with 0 issues, and it definitely wasn't executed perfectly with 0 issues, but I would wager even if the MPL had been executed perfectly with 0 issues, it still would have been an abject failure because the MPL model does not work for a game like Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is unwatchable if you are not a Magic the Gathering player, and the average Magic the Gathering player doesn't give a shit who is playing what decks. Most Magic players don't care that it's Reed Duke or William Jensen or whoever, or LSV or whoever the big name player is doing well in a tournament. They just want to see sweet decks and find things for them to play. Magic always was better off selling the idea of you could be here playing with these people rather than you should want to watch good people play. Because Magic is such a high variance game, it makes it difficult to appreciate players that make good plays, because players making good plays don't beat players making bad plays a significant amount of the time. It's not like Pokemon Unite, right? Where like you put the 5 best Pokemon Unite players against 5 random players and they beat them 100% of the time. LSV or PV or any world champions, they could go to FNM and lose to Joe Random playing a bad deck poorly, you know, 30 to 40% of the time. It's just the reality of it. Wow, they're playing Make Disappear. That's fine. There's no I was playing an untapped land there. I wanted the untapped land for Hydroid Crisis next turn without hurting myself. Well, so the MPL wasn't about people being entertainers, Quarth. The MPL was about getting people to want to watch tournament Magic. That's what it was supposed to be, which is why it didn't work, because people, like a lot of people, non-Magic players don't want to watch tournament Magic. So, poker has the advantage compared to a game like Magic of 1, having high, tangible, meaningful risks that players at home and payoffs can understand watching basically at all time. And 2, it's also a much simpler game to understand, right? Like, and that's honestly why I think Marvel Snap has a lot of potential, because I can explain to someone the basic rules of Marvel Snap or poker in sub 2 minutes, right? Whereas like Magic the Gathering, I can't teach someone how to parse a Magic board state in 2 minutes. I can't teach you the basics of the rules and help you understand who's winning or losing in just 2 minutes of your time. And that's a huge factor. Did you see how complex the new fall set poker cards are? LOL.
I am Scala's vengeance, and I'm coming for you next.
Yeah, I agree with that, Threesmith. In fact, I think if the Marvel Snap people are smart, when they get their PC client rolling, they should work on a first-party Twitch extension. Will go a long way for their game.
We're fit enough to survive.
What is in their hand? Do they, like, have another ultimatum? They have an Ugin. Okay.
I come bearing the wisdom of the ancients.
Scala down.
You are too dangerous to roam free.
By the way, because I know there's other data junkies in chat, if you're someone that wants to see those metrics I was talking about, Twitch stats and Magic stats, this is a website called Sully Gnome. I just linked it in chat. It has tons of great information up there. That's what I use to reference a lot of metrics about my job. Yeah, I switched my days off. I'm going to be live today and off tomorrow. However, we tried to play Pokemon Unite this morning and spent over 15 minutes in queue without finding a match, so I just started Magic early. Which is sad. I really wanted to play Pokemon Unite this morning, but it just would not let me play. I didn't feel like sitting in a queue anymore. Now, Ugin is down to 1 loyalty here, so I can go ahead and play Vivien and then shoot Ugin next turn, which is great. I'll probably Valky and take a peek at their hand as well.
Civilization has crept too far. Tear it down. We're gonna tear you apart.
I leave you to your doom.
How much is it to be competitive in Marvel Snap? That answer is complicated because their economy is unique, weird, bad currently. I've actually got a video where I've got most of the numbers crunched out that I'm going to post in a video form on the Snap channel later this week, I think. That's going to be titled how much / how long does it take to get a complete collection in Marvel Snap. I am hoping the Marvel Snap economy changes dramatically before they call it a full release. To set a low bar, you can tell Marvel Snap's a card game because the in-game economy sucks. At the risk of alienating myself from working with Second Dinner on things in the future, their current economy sucks.
Opportunity to act rash. Chance to fail.
Back to the woods.
I think I'm just gonna go Llanowar Elves, just be linear on the play. I think Valky's actually not very good here. Yeah, I'm gonna put Shifting Ceratops into attack. Yeah. Yeah, Runeterra is likely gonna fail in spite of its economy because the actual gameplay is just pretty medium. Yes, the Runeterra's gameplay will just never appeal to a wider audience. The type of gameplay that it has. Whereas Marvel Snap, I am fairly confident that it's going to be successful even if it doesn't fix its economy because its gameplay is really good and the IP is super popular. I would prefer if Snap made some adjustments to their economy, but I also think that even just as is, it's going to be successful and popular. Alright, so I'm going to pay 3, and I'm going to go ahead and just fart the Incubation Druid here, so we can get some counters on it, so it can make 3 mana to cast Vorinclex next turn for us. So, you'll note that I didn't say Runeterra's gameplay was bad. In fact, I like Runeterra's gameplay, and I think it's pretty fun. However, I am also capable of understanding and acknowledging that I am not the average human being, and Runeterra's gameplay is too mentally exhausting for the average human being. It has too much going on. The best way I can describe Runeterra's gameplay generically, and someone in chat said it a second ago because we've said this before, is that Runeterra is what every card game player says they want card games to be without realizing that's not actually what they want card games to be. It does all of the things people think they want, but when you actually look at it in practice, people don't actually want those things. Those things aren't great for actual gameplay. They're dead. If I assume they have no interaction here, I could kill them, but I don't think there's a reason to try and kill them and be linear here. I think I'm just gonna like double crab and then Hadana's climb one of the crabs. Very interesting. Can you expand on that? Yeah, there's too much back and forth. There's too much gameplay every turn. The crux of the issue in Runeterra is that you never have a break. You are constantly thinking and talking through permutations of things and thinking through 2 or 3 turns ahead. And that's really interesting and fun. I enjoy it a lot of the time, but it also, even it makes me tired. Like, it's just like, oh, the game gets done, you're like, oh, I'm exhausted. Which is not necessarily what you want from your card game. Like, you want feel smart, big brain moments, but you also, like, want to be able to breathe occasionally. Yeah, Vorinclex has been super impressive in this deck, especially when it doubles up with Hardened Scales. So, the more I'm playing this, my initial projection was maybe I want red mana to cast Valky, and maybe Climb's not worth the splash, but Climb's actually been really sweet with all the things that double counters alongside fight rigging. I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to cut the Valkies for a different big dumb beater, huh? Maybe we just, like, play another large creature that we can, like, put counters onto. I don't know that Galta is necessarily correct, because we don't have a lot of, like, cheap things with high power to make her cheaper. But, like, maybe we just play, like, Questing Bees. I just want another biggish thing early, yeah. I could see Questing Beast or main deck Ceratops, or honestly, 5 mana Nissa could be good. Because we could technically turn 3 Nissa, right? Yeah, Gargoth could be okay. I can see that. No, we have Winding Constrictor. I think Winding Constrictor is better than Conclave Mentor. Alright, taking a bit of a hit here. Might be a little bit too slow here on the draw, chat. Especially because we had to take damage from our mana. Stone Coil Serpent plus what's it called is not a combo. Ow. Just dead. It turns out being on the draw and taking 5 damage from your lands is not good against mono red. Weird. Who'da thunk it? I'm gonna bring in the Hydra Crisis as a way to gain a little bit of life. Yeah, I think mono red's pretty reasonable here. Hey, what's going on, Neil? Welcome back into a live one. Seven mana is just infinite mana. 2 modes is the problem. That's so much. Like the other cards I listed are like super castable, right? Like we have 8 Accelerant, so like 5 mana cards even cast on turn 3 with some consistency. Yeah, turn 3 Vorinclex is kind of, it's much harder to cast a 6 mana spell on 3 than a 5 mana spell, right? You need 3 Accelerants, you need 2 of them to be Llanowar Elves for that to be possible. Which is just like pretty unlikely. Thanks for the Prime deal. Welcome back. No blocks. I'll play Green Castle. Maybe? I don't know. Our mana base can't really afford to do that, right? I'm playing 8 green Fastlands. Yorvo's pretty close to a playable card on its own. That's like it's a 5/5 with Winding Constrictor and stuff. I could see Yorvo being good. Hey, leave me, daddy. Hopefully it's just a stomp. They attacked last turn like they could have a stomp. This is fine.
I have survived Nico Bolas.
One large lad, please.
Stomping time.
Ooh, Grokmaw is interesting. The upside to playing other larger threats, though, chat, is they work with fight rigging better. We done here, opponent? You let me know when we're done.
Fun to watch.
I'm gonna chill. Pelucranos could be okay. That one does trigger fight rigging.
This is why I don't like people.
I agree, Viv. I too dislike people. Alright, and this gives them trample, so they're dead, right?
We're fit enough to survive.
Cometh at me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that after this. Let's cut these Valkies and put a different large lad in. I think I'm down to try Pelucranos. There was a green Gearhulk in the board with the original deck list. I could see that being an okay 5. This is probably going to be another game where we just die on the draw. We're never beating a cleave, so there's no reason to play around it with a block. I don't know. Pelucranos' recur and interact are both like pretty clunky and expensive. They're casting fight rigging. That's so good for us. Oh, right. I was like, where's my 4th growth chamber? And they exiled it with rubber. Incubation Druid for mana this turn, because it feels like we're in chump blocking territory now that we're at 6. Annex is scary. He is a large lad, chat. We haven't gotten cleaved yet. They've had opportunities to play it, so. Oh my gosh, their Annex let them trigger the fight rigging. Well, that's busted. How big do my things get here? So this would be 4, and this would be 8. So that's 12 plus 7 is only 19. I think I just want as many blockers as possible this turn, right?
Oh, I am gonna love tearing this place to the ground. I'd get out of the way if I were you.
Okay, and then if I don't die next turn, famous last words, we kill them, right? We've been agent of treachery yesterday. We haven't, Pepper Hands. Don't put that mojo on us. It's for the 2/3 of a year. Things that is not Embercleave. They're actually just dead. They're like way over dead, in fact.
My, how you've grown.
Vivien's been super impressive in this deck. Attack for 49. Alrighty then. Hey, what's going on, Alicane? Thank you for the 19 months. Welcome back. Fight rigging definitely seems like one of the most powerful cards on a new Capenna. Yeah, I think I gotta get rid of these Volkies. I wanna do something else with them. With that slot. I feel like I want it to be a 5. I think Nissa might just be the winner. I think Nissa might just be the winner. She's pretty good with Vorinclex. It's unfortunate that these don't work with Nissa's uptick. That's whatever. Getting creatures because of Turntimber Symbiosis. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. I don't hate Gargoth. Gearhulk is most on theme with the deck. Do I have Gearhulks crafted already? I have 4 Verdurous Gearhulks. I feel like we should play this for good measure. Yeah, I think Titan's too much mana. I want cards that are more castable. Having more expensive plays makes Fight Rigging's text better. Hydra is really bad with Fight Rigging. Like, really bad. I don't know, we can try a couple of things. I don't really have a schedule. It's like, if we decide we want to try different things, this deck continues to be good, we could just, like, play this for the entire Magic segment today. It's one of the nice things about not having 800 decks waiting to be played in the deck queue. We can be a little loosey-goosey about what we play and how we schedule. Something's good, we can keep jamming. Yeah, if this stays good, we'll try a couple of things in that slot. Why is Hydra bad with rigging? Because X is always 0 when rigging casts a Hydra. Ace, draw. It's funny because, like, the cheating things into playoff fight rigging isn't even really that good in this deck. We're mostly just playing as, like, oh wait, they consistently get counters, which is fun. Oh, Celette, thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Quail shoot. My, how the turntables, chip. Yeah, I think we played, the opponent's probably a fight rigging deck also. We played a variation of their deck to middling success on stream last week, or earlier this week, I forget. This looks great. It's the best green fight spell we could play in the sideboard. Why do we need to play a fight spell? We've got 13 black lands. We just play like Doomblade. Okay. Next turn's gonna get kind of silly, huh? If they don't interact with us, we get to go Monstrous Raider. That's kind of gas, chat. So what, that's like 12 power there? Yeah, Gearhulk seems sweet. It just doesn't really do anything, right? Well, this hand does stuff and things, so I think we keep. What do we bottom? What do we bottom? Do we let the greed consume us and bottom a land? What if I let the greed consume me and I bottom a land? We're on the draw? We're on the draw, champ. I'm gonna keep the spells. Watch us draw like fight riggings 3-4 and never draw land. Sounds like the magic I know and love. Great, nailed it. Never didn't have it. That's fine. They're gonna ultimatum us next turn and we're gonna die. Just a Kraken. Oh no, do they have a Doomblade? How do I ever beat a Doomblade, chat? We get to spin to win again? I'm in danger. Their deck is definitely better at casting spells off of fight rigging. That's for certain. If the fight's rigged on both sides, is it really rigged at all, chat? Hurried. And imagine having the audacity to interact with me. Imagine passing the removal check on my removal check gameplay, chip. I checked for removal and they had it, so I lost. Sedge. Hey, Talrand, one deck of cards later. Pup, poker face, pup, poker face. You're 52 months. It's hanging out for almost 4.5 years. Especially with the audacity to removal check us with a bad removal spell at that. Can you even imagine? Well, I mean, our lack of blue mana is a little rough. I think we're keeping, but no blue is big sad. I'm blue, da ba dee da ba die. If I don't draw blue mana, we will surely die. Hi. The less greedy play would be to discard the climb there and keep the land, but, you know, here we are. I mean, I've made choices. We all have to live with them, Chip. Just, sometimes that's just how it be. Wow, they have the technology, chat. I was so excited for our Vorinclex because it stops their fables from progressing. And they vanished my verse. Same as the first, a little bit louder and a whole lot worse. You know, our opponents keep passing our removal checks, chat. Keep checking and they keep having it. Trick Proctor is rude. This actually stops fight rigging too, right? You have to pay 2 extra all this out. What's going on, Heathen? Thank you for the 3 years. Welcome back. Oh, Vivien into climb. Yeah, I guess. Am I dead on board if I do that? Taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Climb is not mana neutral because it still makes all mana the same color. I can't even get counters with this. Yeah, Cricket, I shuffled my schedule last minute. I'll be off tomorrow since I'm here today. Climb into Vivien. Well, I have to use the Incubation Druid to cast the climb, because I didn't have another untapped blue source. So that's also not really something that works. Got the Llanowar Elves, bring in Croesus and Scavenging Ooze. If I'm being honest, Wargy, I think I kind of want to cut all of the kind of toolbox creatures from our sideboard, because it seems kind of bad. I think Vivien's just fine as a +1/-3 card. I haven't really felt the need to toolbox with it. We'll take a redraw. They're ripping us apart, chat. They're ripping us apart. Of your finest 8/8s, please. Would you like to continue ripping apart my board? This is another one you're allowed to rip apart. Discard your Vanishing Verse. Come on. Ooh. They failed the removal check. First time opponent. Is it good for you? It's good for me.
It's my turn. Ugh. Don't you hate that burnt hair smell?
That burnt hair smell? And we'll play and fart this right away. It's been ages since anybody had to think about Growth Chamber Guardian, yep.
Yup, you're going down.
I'm yelling timber, do 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 do. Yes. Excellent draw. Takes our hand from middling to excellent. Back to middling we go. Oh, we got comboed, shit. Combo. I believe I have died. believe I have died. I have, in fact, failed the removal check for my opponent. Wait. What? Wait. Oh, it's two separate triggers. It's separate. They paid for the discard. I was thinking this was gonna go away, and I was confused why they did that, but it's two separate triggers. I understand now. Removal check. Thinking 5 here, down to 2. Dead on board. Dead, dead, dead. Rats. Unfortunately, we failed a removal check and died. Elder Gargoth probably would have won us that game, huh? It's definitely a card that's probably a bit better into the fair decks when we're not racing. Let's try that one over the Gearhulks and see how they feel for a bit. I am just almost completely out of it. I looked over to check Discord and then looked back. I was like, why isn't my queue popped? We weren't in the queue, chat. We weren't in the queue. It's one of those days. So it depends, Emmercool. If your Omnath deck with a fun combo finish is just the typical Omnath deck made significantly worse by adding bad cards to it, no. You have to pay me to play strictly worse versions of good decks. I don't play strictly worse versions of good decks for you. Like to depopulate my board? You would not? That's exciting. Yeah, 4 mana and no play is quite unlucky. Second verse, same as the first, a little bit louder and about 8 cards worse.
Run away. You'll be safer. You are not much of a roadblock.
What am I drinking? My premium drink addiction of choice is
Let your blade
pure
do the
leaf tea of the raspberry variety. Of the raspberry variety. We're just chilling. So this gives them the opportunity to spot remove the Growth Chamber Guardian in response, but I think that's fine since they're spot removing the Growth Chamber Guardian here. It means they're less likely to have spot removal for one of these later. Vorinclex being resilient to Wandering Emperor flashing in feels nice. That being said, Faithful Absence does get it here. It could be right to Turntimber here instead of Gargoth. A little bit less consistent, but they could kill my elves and then I don't have mana for Turntimber. This is also susceptible to Jawari Disruption this turn. Absorb, yep. Yip, yip, yip. Why do they get to just play a free 4/5 with flying? I really don't understand why this is still a thing. It's such an incredible design failure that the easiest to enable companion has also had the largest stat line. Definitely a mana dorks out, extra threats, density in kind of game, methinks. So, my take's kind of different on the companion mechanic. I actually don't think the companion mechanic was inherently bad or awful for Magic, but without regular new companions to cause variety to be there and leaving the two that were obviously overtuned, Lurrus and Yorion, legal in most places for a long time, I think that was a mistake. I think Companion would have been a really good and interesting addition to Magic if they would have come out with 1 or 2 per set to make them varied and interesting, rather than what we currently have, which is just like, you know, there's a bunch of Yorion decks. Not a whole lot else. It also doesn't really help that because the way they nerfed Companions, basically they're only playable inside Control and Dirtle decks. Also feels quite bad. So I assume we're losing the Guardian we currently have in play. It's dead, Jim.
My judgment is final. Try not to. We must protect the people.
My body's ready to just like into the Space Jam here. Our hand's pretty locked and loaded. I guess it could be right to jam Hydroid Crisis this turn. I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
With the Arkbow at my side, I can't lose a fight.
Dead, but... I guess.
We're fit enough to survive. Time to disappear into the brush.
They drawing Yorion here? Yeah. They have 9 mana currently. This will be 10. Gosh, March is good to hydrate crisis too. Gross. I mean, gain 4, draw 4 is like less than they're doing every turn, right? Nifty boy? Question mark? Target Growth Chamber Guardian. Diversify our threats here a little bit. Yeah, we're just in here. Attacking us for 9. They could draw 3 somehow. They have lethal this turn. That's pretty unlikely though, but the problem is just going to be dead even through the Ceratops blocker next turn. I guess we could find something else useful. Well, I guess they're going up to 17. Yeah, they shouldn't have to worry about being down on the backswing, right? We are dead to a draw 2 here. They are leaving back a blocker. Or they're not. If they leave back a blocker, we survive with the blocker next turn. Another removal spell here. Well, I mean, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm so dumb. I thought this was going to a 5/5.
Enough.
That's fine. We still have to do that, right? So they can't Teferi minus. Then we're dead to a counterspell here. So we're not dead on board. We are dead to a Stiff Breeze here. They get the Scry, and then draw for turn, draw a Trawler, draw a Teferi. They have a lot of looks at another Faithful Absence, or March, or Teferi. That is also just lethal. Just block here, and then we take 5. is currently 1135 cornfield. Play Krasis first to guarantee Shifting Ceratops. So my Krasis was only a 6/6, right? So you're saying you want to play it as an 8/8? Maybe? Or a 7/7? Hey, look, chat. It's another Yorion control deck. Probably an extra turn spell. Just now while they only have green mana up. Do they have 2 removal spells? Well, I mean, they have Teferi downtick on board if I don't pressure it with my other thing. Yeah, I think that's probably true, Morgie. I think Yorion is definitely good for their game length KPI. Hey, Bluefire, welcome back. Thanks for the 1.5 years. It's for chilling with all the YouTube stuff. I think we're just like fart incubation druid. I am starting on an attack with these because they might cower no blocks. What's going on, Z-Wine? Guess we're chilling for almost 5 years. Welcome back. Yes, Spurt, because the fight rigging technically triggers during the enter combat step before you move to declare attackers. So you'll have a priority pass back and forth before things choose what's attacking. What's going on, Allurin Bug? Thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Attacking my 4/4 into their 3/5 has broken my opponent's brain chip. Or their doorbell rang, one of the two. What's going on, JJ? Thanks for the half a year. All right, they're back. Back again.
Focused and disciplined, you shall hone your prowess.
If I spend 5 mana here, and then have 7 left over and can still Turntimber. Found the Vorinclex I wanted for Christmas. Think I'm attacking with the Growth Chamber Guardians this turn. So if they want to trade Golos for Narset, they can. I assume that's not a trade they want to make. Friend.
I still have much to learn.
Eight. They found a way to kill my Vorinclex. Good to see them Yori in this turn, get another land, and blink their omens. I'm not sure that we have a catch-up mechanic from there. Just a lot of mustard hanging out in the deck currently. If I attack with everything and they eat Growth Chamber Guardian and block another, they go down to 1. They probably have a piece of spot removal though, right? Because they didn't cast Jorian here. I feel like I'm supposed to just swing for the fences and hope to eke this out. Ah! They finally found the payoff. Ooh. Unfortunately, chat, while our deck felt okay in the first few matches, the more games we've played this afternoon, the less exciting we've felt. Our deck has not been consistently linear enough to race any of these things, and we don't really have room for interaction with how many slots our primary game plan takes up. I mean, there's a schedule in a team. It's a week of atypical schedule, but there is a schedule. Also remember, you can turn notifications on here on Twitch, or you can join the various Magic Live Notify, Marvel Snap Live Notify, Pokemon Unite Live Notify groups in the Subs Discord server for pings on Discord when I start various content types. Yeah, I'm not convinced that the blue cards are ultimately good. I think I agree with that. Better mana and creature land sounds kind of appealing. Yeah, Scales and Vivien have been impressive for sure. Agree with that. Be good as a Simic deck. I think the black cards give you more utility than the blue cards, but I guess it's kind of Snake versus Climb, right? Because we cut the Volkies. That's true too. We could just be straight blue-green. And then I suppose if we're straight blue-green, you can afford to play counter spells in the sideboard.
My heart beats in unison with the wild.
I was supposed to like tap land fight rigging here. Feels like they have another Doomblade.
This will be
Oh,
fun
they don't.
to watch.
That's nice.
Back to the woods.
Would I play 8 dorks if I could? Yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah, I think I agree with that. The black splash giving you real removal spells out of the sideboard seems good. Yeah, either way, 2 colors gives you better mana is accurate. We're definitely not a particularly good fight rigging deck either way. When this format is eventually, Pioneer, there's a second 1-mana elf, just like Llanowar Elves with a different name. Putting the 1/1 counter on here so we can kind of diversify our threats, although there could be merit to putting it on here just for the sake of fight rigging getting to go off next turn. Not that there's anything particularly exciting underneath it. I just don't think so. And that shows us like the kind of fundamental problem I have with like that approach to deck building better justice is like, why should we try to make blue-green work? What issue is being solved by playing blue instead of black without creating other problems? Like losing hard removal creates an entire subset of problems. It doesn't really feel like you're solving things. Like counter spells aren't meaningfully better than discard spells in terms of disruption in most matchups. Comes down to it. Yeah, counter spells and discard spells kind of address the same subset of issues in slightly different ways. The play patterns are fairly different, but the things that they tend to be good disruptive against are the same thing. I want Jeff to make red-white fight rigging work. We'll try. Are we dead? I think we're dead. I'm gonna give them these two and hope that we draw a haste creature next turn to kill them. Alright, one of your finest haste creatures, please, deck. Oh, they just get to cast removal spells, right? Because of his Unite move. Let's retool this into 2 colors and build a real sideboard that can actually have interaction in it. Doesn't really matter what we would have done there. What if I play Knight of the Ebon Legion? That technically has synergy with Hardened Scales and Winding Constrictor, and Vivien giving Knight Trample is like actually kind of great. Death Touch. Death Touch Trample is a profitable interaction. I also wasn't super excited by this. I think I just want to be more aggressive, and I think the Gearhulk does that better. I have a third Hardened Scales effect. I have Vorinclex. I don't really need another. You want to play Castle? I don't know if Castle's worth it. I think I just want more black lands. What's the question of, do I want Lairs or do I want just Turntimbers for a green utility land? It's actually not that much mana. I probably want slightly more. Is Incubation Druid good enough? I guess Knight of the Ebon Legion gives us a way to leverage having a bunch of mana. Absolutely despise the sideboard interface. Good God. I think my deck has 12 1-mana plays, so I think the slow lands are pretty bad. I'm like playing Thoughtseize in the sideboard, so we're gonna have even more turn 1 plays in some spots. This is 16 black, so I think that's plenty of black mana. The question is 23 lands total enough? That's probably one short. Let's cut a Druid and a Turntimber. This looks quite a bit cleaner, huh? Get to play another one of my favorite cards in it, too. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good payoffs for our scales and stuff. Technically, this is a payoff for extra counters, too. It's counters and stuff. All right, I need to run to the restroom really quick, because we down that whole iced tea. When I get back, we're going to jam some with this. Don't go anywhere. You want Rishkar? I can see Rishkar being okay. Do we just, like, give up the incubation druids for Rishkar? He's a pretty decent 3. That curve looks reasonable. It's a little bit of a better payoff. We could even play 3 of this, I guess. Because we'll almost always have another creature before him, right? Anytime you go, Scales 2-drop this. Or Winding Constrictor this, it's pretty good. Sure, let's try that. Is Vorinclex too hard to cast without the Druid? Well, the Rishkar is also an accelerant. And Vorinclex also casts off of Fight Rigging. I mean, it's a pretty good one. This is a classic reading Growth Chamber Guardian. Pause. One, two, three. It's just curvamentary. What could it be? Could be a sweeper, idiot. Played around that shit. Could have played around it.
From the smallest ant to the largest Hydra, nature is...
Imagine being dumb enough to play creatures in Magic the Gathering in 2022.
You haven't seen the last of me.
Just it's hard to imagine being that stupid, honestly.
Let's slow this down.
Please don't slow it down, Teferi, please. Oh, I'm begging you, Teferi. Cut me some slack.
I love everything from deer to dinosaurs.
Teferi's definitely gotta go.
They fight.
Let me know if you're up for round 2.
They're committed to messing our board up, champ. Bear Z, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back.
I will
Reacher.
not go extinct.
Five creature land, pretty not bad. We have Raging Ravine at home. LOL. What are we doing during my upkeep, opponent? Oh, just a magma opus, oh? Is that all? That's all you got? You just said so. That's all you got. So, creature lands used to be like one of the best things you could do in these control matchups. And then they printed, what's the card I'm thinking of? Oh, they printed March, right? All of these white control decks getting to exile your creature land for a single mana is just so fucking obnoxious. It really sucks. You know, I think this is actually a Scales out matchup. I just want cards that are more individually powerful. Bring in Ceratops and Thoughtseize, cut the Rishkars and the Scales. Okay. Cutting the snake here. 2, 3, 4 curve. Medium bottom to land chip. I will say, Growth Chamber, find a Growth Chamber is still very satisfying many years later. These are a few of my favorite things.
I have survived Nico Bolas, and I will survive you.
What's going on, name?
How you've grown.
Thank you for the 31 months. Welcome back. All right, I have assembled all of my squadron crabs, Chip. Chamber Guardian chat is objectively the best elf crab
Well,
warrior
you're
in Magic the
annoying.
Gathering. Really is second to none. They have 5 mana. Show me Teferi. Yep.
Right on schedule. You need to slow down.
They're dead, right? Actually kind of guess.
This'll be fun to watch.
Power haste creature. Charge. It's always nice to put Gandalf in a box in the ground, shit. Get some large lads. Gearhulk definitely seems like the 5-drop for us. All right, now I gotta try and win a game on the draw. We're on 4. I'm on 3 Gearhulk at the moment. I don't know. 5's a lot of mana. Yeah, there's a lot of mana. So we knight on 1 because on 2 we can go shock plus Thoughtseize to deal 4 to trigger Knight of the Ebon Legion. What percent of today's matches have been against control? Almost all of them. Hey, Epithet. Thanks for some gifts. Happy Wednesday. Snack? It's weird to be playing this card as more of a 1/1 counter enabler than like a cheap big spells into play enabler, but definitely feels okay doing that. So I don't really want to redraw fight rigging, and I would like more squadron grabs. So we'll get this one down. We'll pippity pop it off. We'll go find a friend. Yeah, I think this whole exchange is fine for us here for sure.
I'm known for my excellent time.
Hurry. Untapped land would kind of be a good pickup for us, huh? So Teferi gets to die. Dark Chamber again. And then they're still at 17s, and I think for the sake of getting their Planeswalker out of here, we send everything this way. It also clears the memory out of their bin. Feature lands are just lovely, chat. Discarding Magma Opus, and they have 5 mana in play seems strange, or do they have a Gearhulk? Hey, what's going on, Kai? Yeah, I got mine in the mail the other day too. They turned out really well. This is why we put one of the counters on the elves, so we could split up our damage a little bit. They've got absolutely nothing left in hand. I think we just go ahead and play out another Guardian here. And then next turn, we can fart this to a 4, and then we can put out 2 more power with this. Want to get Growth Chamber Guardian to a 5 here, so that way next turn these fight riggings can pop off. Speaking of sound effects, the game board has completely broken the game audio again. Feels Magic Arena, man. I've lost all of my wonderful squish and fart noises, chat. How's a man supposed to enjoy Magic Arena without the squish and the fart noises? All right, put Gandalf in a box after making some changes. Alright, chat, you know the drill. Your punishment for the Magic Arena audio bugging is you have to look at my face filling your entire screen while we restart the client. Hold, please. Moment. It's my face, just as ugly as you all remember. Yeah, Night getting its counters double every turn. Super reasonable as well. I really have to say, I think the Magic product I'm most looking forward to next year is the Lord of the Rings set. Not because I have any attachment to the Lord of the Rings IP, but mostly because I fully expect there to be lots of complaining if there are playable cards in it. We're gonna do plenty of snapping this afternoon, chat, I promise. But I'm glad we're excited for it. We're gonna play some of the Sir 3-Bro deck. I pulled Dracula the other day, so we're gonna dork around with that in a couple of shells. Yeah, they posted that they have a client patch coming in about a week and a half, so I wonder if they're gonna open to more regions before that happens, or if they're gonna chill for now. I just super into Mayhem double rate. Sort of anything going on. Heartless Act, couple of Weathered Runestones. No, they said their goal is to have a PC client available when they do a full global mobile release contract. So I'm still playing via BlueStacks. Okay, well, if we find something that puts 1/1 counters on things, we're in a good spot. Alright, deck, one of your finest Rishkars next turn, please. No push. That's sad. See, we have to see if I play something better. Can't Turntimber with Weathered Runestone out, but that's also probably not that big of a deal considering we draw infinite mana away from doing that anyways. Okay. Growth Chamber still works as expected because it searches creatures out of our deck and puts them directly into our hand. Where's our boy at here? Scale of 1 to dead. Looks like he's potentially still on the alive side of the scale.
From the smallest ant to the largest Hydra, nature is beautiful.
Fatal Push 2, the Electric Boogaloo. There's a binding.
Time to disappear into the brush.
What's worth Gandalf or Cat Oven? Definitely Cat Oven. But I think that's largely due to the fact that the Cat Oven deck is good and the Gandalf decks largely aren't good. The Gandalf decks just like feel annoying to play against. They're not very powerful in this format, I don't think. Whereas like I think the Cat Oven deck is probably one of the better things you can be doing while also taking forever. All right. We're gonna draw a land at a 2-drop, I believe it is. I'm gonna bottom the Vorinclex. I'm gonna keep the Hardened Scales. Listen, chat. Our deck is named after the card. Okay. We can't lose if we have 3 of them. Can't lose has been declared. Let's go. Oof. Well, I mean, as far as non-land draws go, Llanowar Elves is probably towards the top. You could say our board is ready to scale up, chat. Tipping the scales, perhaps. Mayhaps we are. Playing some Abzan counters. Could also be like Abzan Humans, like Black White Humans Splash Collecting Company. Seems like it could be a thing here. Yeah, we missed a land drop, so if they have a removal spell, debating on whether or not they want to pull the trigger on it is not unreasonable. No blocks, 15. It's like Abzan Roop to me. Yep. Oh, look at the little baby dahlias, Lieutenant Chat. Look at how little it is. So this is 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. I die to a General Kudro, but I kind of want to just, like, Vivien plus on my creatures, huh? Is that crazy?
Close your eyes, breathe, and listen to the sounds of the wild.
It's a shame we didn't draw an untapped land this turn. It might be just the right kind of crazy, I agree. 2 1-drops does it. That's not true, right? So they only have 11 right now. 2 1-drops is only +2. Look at that, chat. It actually didn't matter and all of our decisions were meaningless. Or as I like to call it, we played a game of Magic the Gathering. David, thank you for the 32 months. Welcome back. Let's trim the Vorinclex. I think I'm fight rigging here, probably. I'm not going to be needing to go as large. Go, fish. We failed the removal check on the Aspirant. We failed our land draw check to get to play the game, and then we died. Does Runestone hit Collecting Company? It does, but I'm not a fan of boarding it in just to hit that. The pre-rolls are good for something, at least, David. There's just too many games where, like, they don't draw Collecting Company, and spending 2 mana to cast Runestone for them to never cast Company is really not great. They also cheat things out their 3-2, I guess. They didn't cheat anything into play that game. I don't know, this game doesn't seem like it's about grindy value, right? Like, it seems like I just need to punch them before they punch us. The Extraction Specialist is the 3-2 we're talking about. Well, they're 4-color humans? Interesting. I really don't like the Monster Manual covers for the creature lands. Not a fan. Wait, really? Deal. I think we'll Growth Chamber Guardian here, and then we'll pass. And Heartless Act can actually pull 3/1/1 counters off of the Aspirant here, so if they attack with it, we can potentially kill it inside of combat with a block. Oof. I am back for the regional finals, Duck. Super excited. Should be a good show this weekend. Unfortunately, Delphox isn't legal, but this will be our first big tournament post Blastoise nerfs and the Blissey change. So I'm definitely putting a Growth Chamber Guardian into play and then activating it. I think we do it this way because maybe this could be remove counters from Aspirant again. Delphox is in a really, really good spot. It's very similar to Espeon in that I think it's pretty playable, but it's not like a Duraludon style situation. Alright, if I'm Heartless Acting ever, it's gotta be now. I think Snacks and Zoinks pair pretty well together too. Like all four of us that they've had for the last few work well together. I think just ideally when you're balancing commentators, having a play-by-play and a more technical commentator works ideally. And Zoinks is fairly analytical like I am. What if I bolt in this land and attack with everything? They could, like, eat a this, and then these other two are forced to block? What if they go eat this, chump here? I'd be at 11, and I'm taking 8, 9, 10. I'd die to another thing on the backswing. Just do Knight of the Ebon Legion here. It's a chump block, which is great. And then we'll Winding Constrictor plus make a 5/5. And we'll play a tap land. I will say, I really do like that this deck has a lot of cheap creatures, but also has plenty of ways to, like, use its mana thanks to these abilities. Those are my favorite styles of decks to play. The general is here. Huh. No pumps on anything else, meaning they only have one thing that can eat a 5/5 here. I think I kind of like ship it in with all of these to see what they do. They have to block Night with my 6th land now, because otherwise I just double pump and they die. So that's an Abyss. And then they probably trade their other Aspirant for this one. We've not seen any blue spells out of them, no. So I traded my Growth Chamber Guardian for Athalia and their other Aspirant. I think that's a profitable exchange for us. I don't have a witty line today. I've just been around a long time. What's going on, Dwight? Thanks for the over 6 years. Afternoon. They replaced the Dorkos. We KO'd. Gearhulk would be a lovely drop. We're not wrong. Fight rigging would also be pretty good. How about a land, chat? Would a land be pretty good? I mean, if they wanted to sack 2 things to kill my Knight, that would still be a pretty good exchange for us, right? It's not like they have, like, a lot of low-quality things hanging out. Hopefully they'll draw some more lands here at some point. This could just be scrying. Scrying makes a lot of sense for them. Just looking for any of our bomb diggities here. Gearhulks, fight riggings, Viviens. Heck, even another Knight of the Ebon Legion would be a pretty good pickup. Yes, flipping it to Knight, making their Brutal Cathar not have text is kind of great. That is an aggressive attack. Just trade my Growth Chamber Guardian for their... Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to fire up my creature land and use it to gain 8 here. I see that being correct. We still would have been able to activate Growth Chamber Guardian. Block here. They block here. They take only 5. I think we attack with these 2. That's fine. I think we're in a good spot to push through here, right? Unless they have some kind of evasion somehow. Just want to play another blocker out just in case. They topped on the scry, sure. Please concede and go to game 3. Don't wake the werewolves, it's nighttime. Dunk. Weren't dead before. You certainly are now. I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back here. Run it back now, y'all. Heartless Act is notably awkward here, but definitely want all the removal spells we have access to in our deck post-board to match up like this. Aren't they dead already without Ray? Yeah, probably. I didn't count. I don't think I mulligan, but starting at 17 in the aggro matchup is not necessarily where we want to be. Ow! We will bleed for our mana. Do 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 do. There goes our removal spell. Do-da, do-da. So long removal spell. Oh, do-da-day. Well, if they can't get rid of an elf, we get to Gearhulk next turn. Probably just make Growth Chamber a 5/5 and make Gearhulk a 5/5. Alright, so we're gonna lose an elf here, I assume? Oh, we're losing... Sure. Huh. There's definitely some temptation here. I think I'm just supposed to Gearhulk, though, right? Pretty sure we're just supposed to do this. I think 1/2/2, but then I'm also gonna take a 7/7. If we draw bricks from here, they'll at least be bricks that work us towards casting Turntimber. I want to just hit them, right? Because it feels like there's a good chance they're like gonna flip this Moonrager Brute over on me. They cast 2 spells. The Moonrager flips on over. Untapped lands are fine draws next turn. So they God bless. We'll shoot. Oof size large. Okay, so we're hoping to draw a removal spell to get rid of the brute here. Are we dead yet? Probably, I think. Double block their first strike creature? Probably not a strong line. We cannot Turntimber because there's a Thalia in play, so This gets to flip back again here. The oof continues to be large, chat. Large and in charge. Am I dead on board? I am not. Glass half full. Probably dead though. Alright, did they mess up? Because I can make this a 4-4, right? I think they messed up, chat. We're still dead. Opponent tried really hard to throw the game away, but it does not look like it's going to matter. Alright, that's enough for this archetype for sure. This definitely, believe it or not, my Growth Chamber Guardians feel like they've been outclassed at some point in the last 3 years. They were in one of the last sets before Fire Design started burning everyone and everything out, and they just have not kept up with things. We had some okay games in there, but overall, just the power level of what we're doing does not quite feel like it's there with what this deck has going on. Vivien and Hardened Scales felt like they were doing some things that were genuinely powerful, and Knight of the Ebon Legion perhaps is a card to consider looking at a little bit more of, but the this aspect of this deck definitely wasn't good. I'm honestly not sure if the fight rigging Vorinclex portion of it was good either. Like this, definitely like this. I feel like I would like to explore. I actually had a green-white Hardened Scales deck loaded up too before we got the donation to start tooling around with green-black and Sultite today, but I think this kind of core and looking at some other Hardened Scale shells is something I want to do in Explorer for sure, but this definitely did not seem like it was it.